edition rock and roll.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Chase Carter Concept Podcast for Friday, July 23rd. I was supposed to get, listen here. Sorry, I just ate 2 Snicker bars. Snicker ice cream bars, or is it ice cream Snickers bars? And be very careful with Snickers. I wonder what they should change their name. It's too close. Yeah, I went to the grocery. Oh, terrible. I wonder if I can drink beer on the podcast. No. Get a little biscuit. Crap. I had a thought, and it's gone now. I had a thought, and it's gone now. What was I thinking of? We don't know, Chase. We're not in your head. I don't know. But what have I been doing? Just hanging out, trying to entertain my girlfriend, playing lots of Sea of Thieves. She got to level 75 Reaper. She's very happy about that. And no matter what she does or accomplishes in the game, she wants to play more all the time. All of the times. What day does she want to play? All of the days. What time of day? All of the times. And it's just, I don't know. I think I talked about it a few weeks ago, but she woke up in the middle of the night. You know how people talk in their sleep, they mumble. She twitches and she like jerks in her sleep. Her leg will kick or her arm will fidget. And sometimes she'll turn like all the way over real quick, just a quick little 180. And other times she'll say things. And so she flipped over one night, 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. I couldn't sleep. And then all of a sudden she says, "I don't trust you with my cannonballs." And I said, "Huh?" And my I guess, woke her up legitimately. And she's all, "What?" I'm all, what'd you just say? So I didn't say anything. And then I say, "Hey, you just told me you don't trust me with your cannonballs." And she starts laughing and she was like, "I just had a dream about Sea of Thieves and you wanted my cannonballs and I didn't want to give them to you because I don't trust you." I was okay. And then she had the audacity 2 days later to tell me that I have too much screen time and that I play too many video games. And the only time I play video games is when she wants to. Am I up all night playing video games? No, I'm not. Because she sleeps in that room. I very rarely play video games when she's sleeping. Haven't played video games while she was sleeping for the past month or two. Occasionally before, I got hooked on, what game was it? Madden 21 and the franchise mode, drafting players, training, all these little things. Got a little hooked on that, played that for a while. Jurassic Park Evolution. That one I got hooked on, played a little late, but haven't had one of those games in a while. I finished Hitman, which was good. That's an older game. I got to go to Hitman 2 eventually. Right now I'm going to try Watch Dogs Legion. And what's the next? NBA 2K22 is coming out. And I'm going to wait for a used version of the game because that company never fixes their games. Never fixes them. Ever. Forever. Unbelievable. But and all the microtransactions they throw at people. It's just, I don't support their business. So what else? I watched. I've been watching this Amazon Prime show called Bosch, and it's this detective. I don't really know the I don't know the actor. He's not a famous actor, but good actor. All the supporting cast is pretty good. It's got the black bald guy from Fringe is in it, and that's who I thought was the main character of the show. That's why I clicked on it. because it showed him as like Bosch and it was like LA detective, whatever. I'm like, oh, cool. I love this guy. Clicked on him, and then the main character's a white actor I've never heard of. And so, but the black guy is the police chief. He's like the head honcho, and his diminutive talk and his very just awesome. Oh, great character. That's a good show. I think I'm 3 seasons in. Each season is 10 episodes. So I've been trying to get through 2 a day. 2 a day is max. Sometimes 3. I'll stay. Corey will go to sleep. And she likes me in the bed, even though she is a furnace. She is a furnace. And I've been here a while. Known her for a while now. I think almost 2 years now. I can't remember. I don't keep track of how long I know people, which insults some, which I don't understand. I was like, I'm not going to, I met you on December 23rd, 1996. So I've known you 16. It's like, give me a rough estimate. 2 years, 3 years. That's how long I've known her. It's like when the parents say their child is 11 months old. Just say a year. Just say a year. My child's 18 months old. Shh. Just say a year and a half. Just say a year and a half. It's fine. It's fine. Just we don't do it 24 months, 36 months. No, there's a time when we stop that. Is it a year and a half? You know what I mean? And after like 4, you're 5, you're 6, you're not 5 and a half. The kids can do that because their brains aren't developed. But the adults shouldn't be saying those things. It's annoying. It's annoying. It's annoying. It's annoying. And I'm an expert at annoying. I try to be annoying on purpose. Half of my life. Probably more than half, actually. But Bosch is a good show. It's not, how would you say, it's not it's not like a thrilling what's going to happen after every kind of episode, but it's not going to drag you in the first season. But for some reason, it clicked with me. I like the character. I like the no nonsense. There's kind of multiple storylines going. There's no action for action. There's no sex for sex. It's just kind of a slowly developing story. And I was in the mood for it. And I liked it. I watched Hinge with Russell Crowe. Awesome. Awesome movie. Definitely go see that. Or don't go see it. Click on the damn thing. That's on Amazon Prime. Free with your Amazon Prime membership. This podcast is brought to you by Jeff Bezos and Amazon Prime, even though Jeff Bezos is no longer the CEO of Amazon. And he got in trouble because he doesn't know how to communicate properly with people, I guess, because he's a robot. He's like, I just want to thank all the Amazon employees and customers because you're the ones who paid for this. And people started laughing. He's like, no, he was being genuinely, he's like, you're the ones who did this. Thank you. It's like, no. You created a product or a way to get products. And you did it so well that people liked it. But now I'm finding everything used to be cheaper on Amazon. But now I'm finding, like me and my girl, we needed a rotary tool. And she thinks a screwdriver is a rotary tool, which I don't understand, which I do not understand. She's like, yeah, the objects I use at work, they're rotary tools for like polishing. And I'm like, yeah, those are rotary tools. But a handheld, it's a handheld screwdriver, like a cordless screwdriver, or all cordless tools that rotate are not rotary tools, even though they rotate, yes. But I wouldn't say that it's like a drill. It's like an electric drill. So I wouldn't say a drill is a rotary tool. Well, I don't know. I guess rotary tool for me is like a long cylindrical tool that the top spins, and it can polish, drill, it can cut, it can do all these sorts of things. And then the other one is just I don't know. She could be right, but I don't think of them in that sense. She's out right now with a friend. Where'd they go? She told me where they went, but I don't listen. Oh, some kind of coffee place to sit down and do work and bills. not too sure. Someone's yelling outside. I don't know what's going on. It's like, hub, 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 hub. I'm the only one that can be loud and annoying. Jesus. Shut the fuck. Whoa. What was I going to say? There's something about her. She did something. Oh, and her and I, we've been watching Agent Carter. We finished Loki, which was good, but I want to the dialogue, awesome. She didn't like it too much because it's characters kind of developing and finding themselves. And for some reason, she's a girl and she likes emotional things. But when it comes to superhero content or movies, she doesn't want to listen to that kind of stuff. I loved it when Loki's trying to figure out who he is and he's realizing what kind of person he is and his character is evolving and he's becoming different. At least what we think he's different because he's Loki and he's always, he's always going to stab whoever he's always going to stab someone in the back to promote himself, to further his own agenda. But now he meets another Loki version of Loki in the multiverse, and he falls in love with her, basically himself. He falls in love with himself. And so, oh God, forget my point. Oh, spoilers ahead, by the way. I forget my point. So he falls in love with himself. Yeah, so and he's trying to wrap his whole head around that. Is actually he's never felt this way before about anybody, and of course, he's falling in love with him. And what was it? The story. I'm not going to go in too deep into the story, but it's good. I'd watch it. But the fighting, if you're in it for the superhero action, Loki's not a real action character anyway. But he doesn't even really do any of his cool tricks. When he gets into altercations, he doesn't use his powers to fool or doesn't use it very often. And I was kind of disappointed. There's a fight scene on a train that is just two people who basically have magic and they use their hand-to-hand combat skills to thwart off these like police officers on a train. And then the train goes to obviously a train station, ends up at a train station or a town or a city. And then they're fighting the same kind of police people there. And they're still using their knives and daggers. Knives and daggers. Knives? Knives? Knives. Knives. They're using their tools instead of Loki, pretending to be somewhere. Like he conjures up a weapon. I was like, dude, can't you just teleport or turn invisible? Or pretend, like blend in with everybody else? I was like, huh? Doesn't make any sense. And then the fighting is terrible. It is god awful. We just finished that and watched Agent Carter. Agent Carter has more impactful punches than a demigod against normal humans. I was like, whoever did the stunt choreography and that really just like do something different. Do something different. Please. For the love of God, please do something different. Don't understand. How are the fight scenes in Daredevil infinitely better than this brand new show you've got going on? I don't understand. And then in Daredevil, they stopped doing those fight scenes, maybe because they were expensive or taxing on people. I'm like, that's what made your show different, is those long kind of one shot, at least they appeared to be one shot fight scenes. Like, do more of that. That's why the show became popular. And then we're going to cancel the show because it's becoming not popular. Because you took out the thing that made it unique. You don't do those anymore. And the superhero has to get beat up a lot in that one because we have to feel sympathy for him. And it's okay if he loses fights against multiple enemies. Just do something different. And people will flock to it because you've set the standard. Superhero fights somebody. he loses. Then he trains and comes back and gets more powerful, then he wins. Rinse and repeat. It's like in video games. There's video games that are like RPGs where you have all these powers. You play for an hour with all these powers. Like, this game is really cool. And then something happens. You run into a character that strips you of your abilities. And the next 40 hours is you getting your powers back. It's like, could you do something different? Please, please. And in NBA 2K, it's so simple, and it's just as simple as NBA 2K. When you have your My Career, and you want to start out as a high school basketball player, and then go to college, and then go to the NBA. That's the NBA dream. The NBA dream isn't being a DJ for years after college, and then joining a street ball tournament, and an NBA scout sees you there. First of all, there's no scouts at street ball tournaments. An NBA scout agent sees you and gets you into the NBA, and then you become the next LeBron James. That's not a pathway that anybody takes. Rinse and repeat. High school, college, NBA. Next year, have a storyline of, say, your mother passing away, or a parent, or something along those lines. Have some dramatic impact about that. Have it next year, have a girlfriend. Okay? And then the next year, have you can be a WNBA character and go through a completely different storyline. Make it real simple. I mean, not too many people are going to play that game because it's mostly stupid men that play it. So we're not going to want to be a woman. We're going to want to actually dunk in the game. I wonder, I don't know why I like shooting at women so much. It's just really, 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 really fun. Really, really fun. If you just do something different. It's like when at the end of Avengers, which one was it? Not Endgame, but in Infinity War, when Thanos won, and you did not know that there was going to be a next one. You didn't know that it was basically a two-parter? When it ended, I was like, oh, it's like, just give me a movie where the bad guy wins, where all the good guys are defeated. Just give me a 2.5 to 3 hour movie where a bad guy, he's really cool. He has to be cool now. He has to be cool. Give me a Joker movie where he defeats Batman. Or it seems like he's defeated. The movie ends with the Joker being satisfied. He doesn't kill Batman, but maybe you think he's dead. And the Joker just sits down like Thanos does. And he just smiles. And be so good. But now it's already done. Thanos already did it. Now people are, we can't do it with Thanos. So the good guy has to be beaten and then learn from his mistakes and come back and win. It's going to be good. Or one of the Justice Leagues, when they all come together, have the first movie end where they fail. They come together, but they're not a team yet. They're still bickering. They haven't got their chemistry together. They don't combine their powers in the most effective ways. And that's another thing that the DC movies don't do. The characters combining their powers off of one another. Remember when in the first Avengers, I almost screamed out loud when Iron Man used his beam blast off of Captain America's shield. I almost screamed out loud. Because those are the moments where you have to think of creative ways, even just simple ways. That's very simple. Very, very simple. It's like, can we do more of that? When Scarlet Witch, the Black Widow, she needed a boost up. She got on Captain America's shield, and Captain launched her up onto the it was some flying vehicle that the aliens were using. Just little things like that, little team ups. Say Hawkeye needs to get onto another building or whatever. Hulk comes, either like throws him across the gap or whatever, or picks him up. He jumps and then throws him the rest of the way. And it's real rough. You can have I forget his name. What's his name? Can't remember his name. Anyways, the character, Hawkeye, stumbles. And he's like, oh, thanks. And he's kind of hurt from the Hulk's, because the Hulk is a big old brute, but now he's not. Now he's a smart guy, and he's not like, no, Hulk. You have to. Hulk is the the um the chaos. That's who he is. He's not. Don't have him be smart, because now that, how can we get back to that Hulk? Bruce Banner is permanently the smart Hulk now. It's like, oh, the reason the Hulk is cool and people like him is because he's unpredictable at times. That's the thing. Are we going to have him lose that? Are we going to have him lose Smart Hulk? I thought he's permanently like this. So we have a character that has no flaws, basically. He's really strong and really smart. That's fun to watch, isn't it? Oh, yeah. The reason Tony Stark is entertaining to watch is because he's flawed. Those are the things. Those are the things that's good about it. Winter Soldier, same thing. Is he going to lose his mind and become bad again? You know, there's really no negative about Black Panther, though. Captain America, same thing. He doesn't really have a negative, but like, he has to do the right thing, even if it hurts. Like, obviously, he's more like Batman, where he doesn't kill people, even though he does. I think Captain America kills people. I've seen him with guns in the movie. They don't really stress that. That's more of a Batman thing. But I just don't. Just do something like. But I guess if you make 25 movies, you have to do something different. You can't have the Hulk be the same thing. But I liked it when the Hulk wouldn't come out. It was mad at Bruce Banner, and just have it that way. Like, oh, I can't control it, but now I can control it, and I punch this huge thing in the face, this huge giant space worm in the face that can fly for some reason. That wasn't. It was because of the gear that he had on. Did it levitate this flying worm? And then if he could fly, why is he still like going up and down like he's swimming through water? I don't understand. I don't know. I'm out on a limb here and said the Marvel Avengers movies didn't make sense too much. The ones with the aliens in it? Yeah, that one. Big purple bad guy? Yeah, that one right there didn't make any sense to me. But we're having fun. We watched Loki. Good. If you're a Marvel fan, good. Some funny parts. I don't know if you have kids, if they would like it, because it's not a fun. It's more about a character learning about himself, changing, realizing he's selfish, blah 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 blah. A lot of dialogue. Owen Wilson or Luke Wilson? I can't remember. He's in it. He's good, as always, as he is in everything. I can't remember if it's Luke or Owen. I've seen him in dozens of movies, but I still don't. Actors' names. I don't know. If it's not Selma Hayek or let's see, like Leonardo DiCaprio, I always forget. But yeah, I think that was. Oh, we bought a rotary tool. Oh, my girlfriend was right. So what I was thinking, I have to cut one of the screws in our doorknob is too long. It sticks out. It protrudes. So I got to cut it. I got to cut that thing down. So I look up all these different ways to cut a screw or cut a bolt. And then I was like, hey, my stepdad is a really good tool guy. He uses tools all the time. He's a truck driver. If there's anyone that I know close that knows about tools, it's him. And so I say, hey, I need to cut a little bolt, small little bolt for a doorknob screw, for a doorknob, mechanism. I have no idea what I'm talking about. And so, and he's like, no, you don't want to cut that because then it messes with the thread. It kind of bends the metal at the end, and you won't be able to. It's more difficult. It's more likely you'll mess up the thread, and you won't be able to screw the bolt in after you cut it. So I'm like, okay, well, what do I do? Wise one. He's like, get a rotary tool. Get I forget what a Dremel. A Dremel is the brand name for this rotary tool. He's like, get one of these. They're really good, and they'll cut right through it, and it won't warp. And then you can do a whole bunch of other little tiny do-it-yourself projects with this thing. And then so I bring this up to my girlfriend. My girlfriend's like, oh, I always wanted one of those. We should get one. So we bought a $60. She pays $30. I pay $30. And this is how she's going to get me to stay with her, I think. We're going to go halves on all this expensive stuff. And then if I want to break up with her, she knows I'm so cheap that I'm gonna, well, I have all this money invested in these tools. Like we bought weights together. We were supposed to buy my computer together. Yeah, I bought an $900 computer thinking she was going to pay for half. The computer gets here and she goes, well, actually my laptop is fine. Okay, thank you. But now I like having my computer by myself. So it's fine. I'm thinking about getting a different one, maybe selling this one and getting a different one. I'm not too sure. Because this one won't even play. I tried to play Horizon Zero Dawn on PC at the lowest settings. It couldn't even run that. And I'm like, well, is that a game issue or my laptop? I'm like, oh God. I have a Ryzen 7 4000 series and then AMD Radeon graphics card, whatever that is. Apparently it's not enough. I need, what kind of RAM do I need? VRAM? I have RAM. I have enough RAM, just general RAM. But I don't have enough VRAM. There's more RAM. There's different types of RAM. I'm very confused. I just need to buy a PlayStation 5. Oh, okay, that's what I need to do. Okay, got it. Cool. So yeah, been doing that. I want to play Watch Dogs Legion. I'm gonna probably play that a little bit tonight. Nothing else too much been going on. I saw Space Jam 2. Okay, now this is something I want to get. And Space Jam 2. Okay, I think this was a matter. I liked it. You put the Looney Tunes in something. Daffy Duck, funny. Sylvester the Cat, funny. They have Taz in there. He's one of my favorite characters. Tweety Bird. How can you not like Tweety Bird? There's all these great characters. Lola Bunny was good in it. She was the only one that kind of knew how to play basketball. Just like in the first one. And people are upset that Lola Bunny's not sexy, which is strange because if you want a sexy Lola Bunny, there's websites out there that will give you what you need, give you what you want. So I don't understand that at all. It's like, it doesn't matter if she's attractive. And it's a bunny. It's a bunny. Don't care. I did learn they took out Pepe Le Pew because good old Pepe doesn't ask for consent when he kisses his love. I'm like, it's a cartoon. It's a cartoon. You also have Wile E. Coyote trying to murder the Roadrunner and eat him on video, on screen. There's a scene where the Roadrunner is on a plate with a whole bunch of other food around him, and Wile E. Coyote's got a knife and a fork. He's about to eat the Roadrunner. I'm like, you're about to. That's okay for children, but Pepe Le Pew, like, he's not trying to rape this skunk on screen. He's just trying to give her silly little exaggerated cartoon kisses. It's like, oh, okay. Okay, could we not take everything? So it's a cartoon. It's not everything's not, a mirror image of life. Can we have some satirical? It's funny that a guy loves a girl so much and then he always gets turned down. That's funny. We all have friends who like girls and girls who like guys that they get turned down all the time by those people. And it's hilarious because it's not hilarious. It's sad, but what are you going to cry about every sad thing in the world? No, you're going to make it satirical and you're going to try to make it funny. Just don't get it. I got a friend. She likes this guy. This guy just treats her as a booty call. And I'm like, well, if you keep going over there and having sex with that person, right? This was a long time ago. This was a long, long time ago. It's like, well, he's not. It might have been almost in high school, college time. Yeah. At the time when I was a virgin and could not have sex even if I wanted to. If I was gay, probably that would be the only way I could have sex. Because guys have no standards. And so I'm just sitting there watching. I'm just like, he doesn't like you. Like, you're putting all of this, and then years later, I fall in love with a girl who does not like me. and I don't even listen to my own advice. But I think guys and girls are different. Obviously, like how dare you say that? In general, we obviously like different things. So if she, with her personality and her overall attractiveness, and hooking up, having fun together, it's like, well, why doesn't he like me? Well, if he has all of, if he has all that you've given him, if that's all you have no more tricks in your bag, so to speak, then you have to develop new tricks. If you really want to, if you look at it from a competitive, what can I do to get this guy to be interested in me? So if he's into a football team, be into the football team or the sport, but you have to come at it at a way that you seem like you know what you're talking about. Because if I meet a girl who is into basketball, and then I have another girl who's not into basketball, guess what girl I'm going to go with? The one who likes, obviously, the things that I like. It's like, and especially with girls in sports, a girl who can play basketball or just like a little bit. I'm like, why don't? That's way more attractive. So you have to throw him curveballs. You have to, instead of being the girly girl that she was and into all of this, like, no, you have to have similar interests as the person you're going after. If they're playing the hard to get thing, if they're doing the, oh no, I just want you for, fun nighttime activities, like, you have to develop your personality more. You have to develop your interests more and hook him in ways that other girls aren't. Instead of just being about looks, you have to be about looks and your personality. You can't just show up and, I like this guy, so he should like me. It's not how it works. And very rarely is that's the case. But some of these guys, they're good looking, or they're just dumb and don't realize, what they have in front of them. But yeah, it's real weird. Like, I should have changed my whole. As soon as I changed, I was in love with this girl in college, and she would not. I was stuck in the friend zone completely. She's like, no, I can't see myself with you. Also, I was like, really? I was like, I would. It's like, no, you're too much of my friend. And then in my head, I'm thinking, why would you not want to be in a relationship with your friend? And then what I realized was she's not sexually attracted to me, obviously. Okay. And so what I didn't and this is I realize how shallow people are. This is years. We just went. We hung out. We were friends. Went to movies, dinner. We had dinner at her place, and this is what she lived with her parents, and her mom was great. Barely spoke any English. Cooked me food. The Caucasian version of Mexican food, with a little bit of tapatio, a little bit of that in there, and had a great time. And then we stopped talking for some reason. I can't remember what it was. We just didn't hang out as much. And then I got invited to her birthday thing. She's like, oh yeah, I'm sorry we haven't talked in so long, blah, 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 blah. And I think it was her sister that invited me to the thing. And her sister realized that we were being stupid and not talking to each other. So we go to Vegas for a trip. And I swear to God, the girl who I was in love with, who showed me no attention at all, saw me without my shirt on. And this is when she didn't realize that I worked out a little. I went to the gym and worked out a little bit, but I didn't wear tight clothes at the time. I wore baggy clothes. I was into, not more hip hop, but just I wore baggy, loose fitting clothes. I'm a kid from the 90s. I wore an XL shirt when I was in elementary school because I thought, no, I look like the cool kids on TV. It's like, no, girls don't want to see a guy in basically their, fat parents. It looks like my fat, my dad's not fat, but if I had a fat parent, they're hand-me-downs. I was like, I didn't realize that, so I still wore baggy clothes, baggy shorts. I used to sag in middle school. Oh God, I don't know what was wrong with me. Like I would not like me. That's why if you ever see a kid that you don't like, you have to realize that you would probably be that exact same kid if you were like, I would not like myself at all. Anyways, she told me to put my shirt on. That night she crawled into my bed. And I'm like, that's all that's all. I had to throw something different at her. I guess what I threw at her later. Yeah, but and that lasted for years. And then that type of on and off hookup fling thing lasted for years. And it was awesome. It was awesome. But it didn't make any sense. I was like, that's what it was. And then it's kind of like a light clicked, a little light bulb hit. I'm like, oh, okay, I get it. But then it's still hard to manage that. It's like now I'm just, when I was older, the mindset when I met Corey, it was like, if I see an attractive girl at the gym, because that's really all, I don't go out too much. But if I see an attractive girl, you just ask her out. Sometimes you're like not in the mood. But if you see it, a woman that, oh, I find her extremely attractive, just go up to her, hey, sorry to bother you. You're extremely beautiful. I just want to know if you wanted to hang out sometime. Get some coffee. Would you be interested? Like, is it weird if I ask you out? Something along those lines. Just keep it simple. Do you like the way I look right now? Yes or no? Oh, no, I have a boyfriend. Okay, you have a nice day. Bye. 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 And the chances, I got a friend, Raymond. He has terrible luck with women. Just ask out as many as you can. Ask out every hot girl you see. He's like, I asked this girl out. It was the one girl I asked out this year, and she said no. So that means they all must say no. No, it's fine. They say no. Who cares? It sucks if like you randomly meet a girl through like friends, and then you're hanging out at a party. She's cool, and then you ask her out, and you say, and then she says no. Then you kind of know what you're missing. It's like, oh man, I'm missing this cool girl, and she might not even be that person in private that she is around everybody. But that's besides the point. But it's like if you just go up to an attractive stranger, hey, sorry to bother you. Sorry, you're extremely beautiful. I think you say, I think you're extremely beautiful. I don't know. It was like, this is kind of embarrassing, but, and you just ask her out. It's like, hey, you're extremely beautiful. And I was just wondering if you wanted, and don't ask her out. Don't get through the line real quick. Hey, I think you're extremely beautiful. I just want to know if you want to hang out sometime. That's all you have to do. It's not hard. I'm not a ladies' man, to say the least, in the least. But working out has gotten me a lot more attention. Just being semi-fit has gotten me a lot more attention than when I was a skinny. I'm still pale, still a little pale, but it's really skinny pale kid. I remember a girl I really cared about in high school. I can't remember. I remember we dated for a few weeks. It was so stupid. For some reason, these things always stick in your head. But she didn't like me, and then I heard she called me pale because I didn't go out in the sun. When I went outside, I had a shirt on. I didn't go to the beach or the lake. I'm not a guy that sits out in the sun and tans. After this, I started to become that guy because I got insecure. And I was like, oh, I can just go run. I can work out in the sun. Okay, that makes more sense. But I remember her, after us breaking up, her sitting next to me, laughing, having a good time. And then she lifts up my sleeve. She lifts up my arm sleeve and sees that I'm pale, and then just puts it back down. And then I didn't get any kind of that sort of attention ever again from her. And I was like, oh, but she's in high school. She can be shallow if she wants to. That's fine. That's fine. Great personality though. Oh, same kind of silly, dorky personality as me, wrapped up in this hot chick package. I was like, you're gonna hide that? You're gonna hide that? You're gonna hide it? Nope. Okay. It was just wrong timing. but I still remember. But those are the things you have to be, I think, turned down or hurt in order to obviously see what you want, see what you don't want. And that's what the people who are together since high school, who fall in love with like their high school sweetheart and they've been dating ever since high school. I think knowing someone in middle school, elementary, and then, separate, like going their separate ways, going to different schools and then coming back, I think that would work more. Like, obviously everybody's different. But to me, if I got with the first girl I ever been with, I think, wouldn't you have regrets? You're like, oh, you would wonder what else is out there. Unless you've been out there and you saw what else is out there. And then you're like, oh, I know what I have because I know my options. It's like if you want to buy a car or a house and then you buy the first car you see or the first house you see. You're like, well, is there a different, but you could also be happy with the car you have and you don't care. You're like, I don't want to go look at them. But then you're just lazy. I don't know. It's different. It's weird. So I don't know. But Space Jam 2. This is what I want to talk about. LeBron James, LeBron, Mr. LeBron James, LeBron, not Jeffrey James. It was an okay movie. It was okay. 2 hours, a little long for a kids movie, but it was cool seeing Daffy Duck, all those characters. Good. The problem I had with it was interesting how they made LeBron a cartoon in it though, because Michael Jordan wasn't a cartoon in the first one. So that was a little bit different. But it was also nice. Maybe they did that for shooting purposes, where they didn't have to have LeBron James on camera or on set as much. Nice little workaround. But that was cool, him going into, when he went into Toonland, it was the cartoon version of LeBron. Because having real life characters interact, you saw that when he was his real life self in the actual basketball game, interacting with all these animated, it seemed fake. Like when he was high-fiving everybody, he was walking down, everyone was excited. He was high-five. He was like, oh, this doesn't really, it has a disconnect is what I'm trying to say, for what the word I'm trying to look for. And when he was the cartoon, LeBron going through the world, that was fun and entertaining. And it's always fun to see Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, Elmer Fudd. It's always good to see those guys. Marvin the Martian. Marvin the Martian. But yeah, I was hoping for a Jessica Rabbit. Didn't get one. I was a little bummed out by that. I don't know if Jessica Rabbit is part of that, the whole Looney Tunes, it is part of the WB, isn't it? I can't remember. Let me get Jessica Rabbit and Lola Bunny mixed up. Not too sure. But it was good. Tweety Bird, there was like one scene where like the starting five of the Toon Squad does like a slow walk up to like the half court line, and it's LeBron James, it's Daffy Duck, it's Bugs Bunny, Lola Bunny, and then the fifth one is Tweety Bird, and Tweety Bird's flying. It's like slow motion flying. I'm like, this is so fun. It was so awesomely stupid. I was like, that's funny. That's funny. Daffy Duck is cool. They go to different worlds, like the Matrix. I guess they own the Matrix as well. They own DC. So they go to Metropolis, and Daffy Duck is pretending to be Superman. He calls himself Super Duck, and he's trying to stop this bullet train. He's trying to stop it, which is basically like the Dark Knight. And then Bugs Bunny is Batman, and LeBron is Robin. And which is another joke at like LeBron James is never Batman, or he needs a Robin, or it's like, oh, the Michael Jordan is Batman and his Robin was Scottie Pippen. It's kind of like a play on that kind of stuff. And then so they're in the DC world. They're trying to stop the train. They're not stopping it. And then all of a sudden it stops. And then the actual Superman like flies up like really slow, and he's the one who stopped the train. Then there's Aquaman. There's Wonder Woman sitting there. And like, oh, that's cool. I was like, that's pretty sweet. I like that. More of that, please. Rick and Morty show up in it, which is fun, which is funny. I'm trying to think of anything else that stood out in the movie. Someone was upset that when LeBron James fell, when he became a Toon and fell into Toon World, that the hole he left in the ground was a Nike swoosh. I'm like, what? Why are you mad about that? But it's funny because he's obviously not, he's a human. You would think that it would leave a human LeBron James logo there. Like, you can maybe have like the outline of him doing his dunk, but then he didn't follow the basketball. So that wouldn't make any sense either. Nike swoosh. That was the correct. I don't like when product placement, like it's a LeBron James is, never mind. That's fine. His shoes are in the movie. His shoes are in the movie. Shut. If it was every scene has a Nike symbol, I understand. Don Cheadle was funny in it. He's talking about like how the whole story is LeBron James is basically one of those dads that not forces his kids to play basketball, but if he's going to play basketball, he's going to do it the right way. The fundamentals. You have to have the fundamentals. And the kid wants to have more fun playing basketball because obviously he's a kid. He doesn't take it as seriously as LeBron James does. And so there's a disconnect between one of his sons. He has multiple kids in the movie. And his kid is also into video games and creating video games. And the way that the kid creates a video game in the movie is not how people create video games, but that's besides the point. Like he just goes up to Anthony Davis and with a phone app scans Anthony Davis, and then Anthony Davis is automatically in the game, like completely. All his character is completely done and perfect. I'm like, no, that's not how. It's like it takes a lot more, but that's besides the point. There was what was it? And then so the whole story is LeBron and his kid connecting. It's like you don't need to be his coach, you need to be his father. And LeBron James doesn't get this. They get sucked into. They're at WB, and this rogue algorithm, and that rogue algorithm is Don Cheadle, and he's inside the WB serververse. It's called the Warner 3000. And Don Cheadle creates this whole marketing plan to make LeBron James and WB a whole bunch of money. And LeBron James is given the pitch and he turns it down. Don Cheadle is watching this from the serververse, and he gets upset. And then he tricks LeBron James's kid. When LeBron James and his kid have a disagreement, LeBron James' kid gets in the elevator. Then LeBron James gets into it. It's supposed to go to the first floor. It goes down to like basement level 20. And that's where the serververse is. And so LeBron James' kid sees all this cool. It's like, oh, this is where they went Warner 3000. This is awesome. And then he steps up on this little platform and the computer digitizes him and sends him into, the serververse. Then LeBron James is like, dumb. He chases after. Then LeBron James gets scanned and thrown into the serververse. Then Don Cheadle challenges LeBron James to a basketball game inside the serververse. And apparently Don Cheadle doesn't know what happened with Michael Jordan and on Moron Mountain. Doesn't know about that. So, and Don Cheadle the one thing I do like about in the movie, they show LeBron James' son video game, and it has a glitch. And then he loses his character. And then he goes, oh, man, I'm going to have to build up my character for months now to get him back to the level he was. I'm like, yo, you're making the game. You're creating the game. You can make him whatever level you want to. It's the people who play the game who have to level up and get experience. Like, what are you talking about? And you should have backups anyway to your video game. Who's teaching you how to make this video game? That's why, like, when you're typing out an essay, you save it. That way, if anything happens, you can go back to the place that you previously saved it. Didn't make any sense, but whatever. There's a glitch in Dom's LeBron James' son video game. So then the final game they play is a version of Dom's game. It's like NBA Jam basketball. and LeBron James has to not be so military-like, not so fundamentally sound. He tried to get the Toon Squad to run real plays, and they're failing and they're failing and they're failing. And then a basket's not worth 2 points. There's like trick style points that you get if you make someone fall then score. You get like 35 points or whatever. So LeBron James has to learn how to play his son's game within this, serververse or whatever. And of course, he loosens up and he lets the tunes be the tunes. And then they're having fun over there playing. And then, of course, the son wants to play with them. And then the son switches teams mid-game against the rules here. And he's also obviously a traitor. He wants to go with whatever's easier. Typical kids these days. Sorry. So he switches teams, and then LeBron James and his son, reconnect. He's like, Dom, I'm so sorry that I didn't support you and, in your video game endeavor. And they reconnect and everything's happy. They win, blah, 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 blah. Everything's happy. And then the best part of the movie, or what could have been the best part of the movie, I'm thinking this is Space Jam 2. Michael Jordan should be have a cameo in this movie. And he does, and it's Michael B. Jordan. And Daffy Duck has a really good line. He's like, we wanted Michael A. Jordan, not Michael B. Jordan. Great line. And I'm just really disappointed that Michael Jordan wasn't in this movie. And Bill Murray. Because it's real easy, right? It's real easy. It's extremely easy. Don't know what Michael Jordan and LeBron James are business partners with Nike. I don't understand why they're not. Should be in this movie. Should be a cameo in this movie. Or at least have something in the background, Michael Jordan in the background somewhere. A digitized version of Michael Jordan. Like Michael Jordan was trapped in there before. It's the same thing. It would have been awesome if the Moron Mountains kids came back. Forget the guy's name who ran Moron Mountain, the theme park. Say he gets old and retires. His son comes in and then he wants to get Michael Jordan back in there. He actually gets Michael Jordan, traps him there, and he's on the ball and chain, and people always play one-on-one against him and they beat him. And then say LeBron James has to go rescue him. But then in Michael Jordan's competitive head, he's like, I'm not going to have LeBron James rescue me. I don't need rescuing from LeBron James. So there's that whole ego thing in there too. Or maybe Michael Jordan just comes back and helps LeBron James for a play or two in the game. And he's older. But then he gets upgraded because in the game, they upgrade themselves and the Looney Tunes. When they upgrade the Looney Tunes, they become, which is kind of funny, they're the classic Looney Tune cartoon characters. And then when they get digitized or upgraded, they become CGI characters. They look more modern, I guess, instead of less cartoony, and they look more three-dimensional. And then Bugs Bunny hates that, which I thought was pretty funny. And so they could have done something with that with Michael Jordan. I don't know what exactly they could have done because I haven't thought about it for longer than 2 or 3 minutes. But it's just real simple. I have a whole podcast about Space Jam, how I go off on a 45 to 50 minute rant about it. I'm probably a little too passionate about it. Probably. Most likely. But good movie. Good movie. It is interesting that the Looney Tunes aren't, kids don't really know about them. They know more about Toy Story or the Avengers. But these cartoon characters that I grew up with are kind of dying out. I don't know if I don't have cable. So do they have Saturday morning cartoons? Are these the cartoons people are watching now? I don't know. I'm not sure. There was one thing, I'll close the podcast on this, showing how stupid I am and how smart my girlfriend is, but also how dumb she is at the same time. We were talking about, I think Neil deGrasse Tyson got brought up, and just astronomy and astrology, which I still get confused of which is which. She likes the horoscope and all of that. She's not real into it, but she, I think, likes the idea of energy and moon cycles and all this other stuff. She's not real into it because then we couldn't be together. We couldn't. If I would never stay with long term a woman that's what is it? I'm a Virgo, so I'm spicy. I'm real spicy today. I'm real. What is it? Like I'm not. Shut up. Shut up. What stars you were born under have nothing to do with your personality. It's your upbringing. It's your upbringings. People around you, your parents, your culture, your surroundings, your environment. Those are the things that dictate who you are and how you are. Or at least they help. Anyway. Doesn't matter. Oh, anyways. So she's into that, and and then she's like, hey, wait a minute. Is there anything in the universe above us or below us? I'm like, well, what do you mean? Is there anything above Earth? I'm like, well, what are you talking about? I was like, when you look up at the stars, there's, stars in all directions. There's not just stars in one direction. She's like, is the universe kind of flat like our solar system? And I'm like, our solar system's flat. Doesn't make any sense. I was like, the Earth is spinning, and the Earth is spinning around the black hole inside the Milky Way galaxy, right? Because we're in the Milky Way galaxy. So we're all rotating around that, and then like each individual sun has its own like gravitational pull, and that's pulling in shit, and each planet has its own, and it's all one big kind of concoction. And I didn't know what the angle was, but I thought I heard someone come in at the end of the podcast because I'm not going to talk. But I thought the solar system, it was more the angle that the planets revolve or rotate around the sun is only 7 degrees. It changes just 7 degrees. So our solar system is flat, and it's not. I thought that it was kind of like it was just not randomly, but spinning around our sun. So our sun is like keeping all the planets flat for some reason in this flat formation. But I looked at her and I was like, there's no way it doesn't. She's like, no, it's relatively flat. And I'm like, no, it goes all over the place. It might be random. I'm not too sure. I'll look into it. Looked into it. She was 100% right. But as far as everything else, but like solar systems are flat, but then the galaxy isn't. But then the galaxy is flat. So like, I don't understand. I'm losing my mind here trying to think about the universe. And I thought it was all in one area. But then if you have like a circular gravitational pull, and it's pulling everything in from a whole bunch of different directions, and it's spinning, does that spin centralize? So then maybe that's it. So if something spins, it has a central area where everything comes to that one spot. So say if you have a sphere, and inside of it you have a whole bunch of smaller balls, and then you spin the larger sphere, all of those balls are going to go into the middle. They're going to rise up and go to the middle of that larger ball. So maybe that's the reason why everything gets flattened out. Maybe, or some kind of, I don't know. I'm trying to think of it. I'm dumb. I'm stupid. This is Neil deGrasse Know Nothing. Another episode of the Chase Carter Concept Podcast. If you guys listen for this long, I appreciate it. And I'll talk to you next week. You got this shit knocking, bro.